Hello and welcome to Fierce. This program celebrates the diversity of LGBTIQ identities and perspectives. Fierce is produced in Bundjalung country at 2NCR Lismore and can also be heard on podcast at fiercefm.podbean.com and in New Zealand on Fresh FM, as well as all over Australia through the Community Radio Network.
Jingiwala, welcome to Nalungu, welcome to country. I just want to welcome and acknowledge all my ancestors, past and present. And I welcome you all out there today as you listen to Fierce FM, sending you all love. Cindy Roberts.
My people, my people.
Welcome to Fierce. We're chatting to Cindy Roberts, a local Bundjalung woman running for Regional Councillor to defend our land and water.
Jingiwala from Widjabawawal country. How you mob all going?
Flying after yesterday's Nation Dance.
Deadly, eh?
Yes.
As you know, there's a lot of healing that needed to take place in this nation. Australians call Australia, but my people, we call it Nalungu. And Nalungu means country. Our people have already been a broken people since colonisation, since bloodshed, since massacre, land grabbing. But to see Mother Mammon, Great Mother Spirit, broken and destroyed and desecrated and dug up for resources, for money, power and control has affected us as custodians of the land. Our Creator has called us to be the caretakers and custodians over this land to protect these things. But our people are always tied by red tape applied over our lives and over our lands with missions. To this very day that a lot of people don't know, we're under a different act even to white Australians. We were a broken people. Natunguli, Najangali, seen our pain and our struggle over this country. It was hurting because we have been hurt as first men and women upon the earth. Our land was being destroyed and we were just crying inside. And the Nation Dance was to bring unity again, not to heal just mother, but people that have been hurting so long. And we just asked the government to once just stop and just not only listen to us, but listen to the people's voices out there that are telling them, you're killing us. Not only are they killing my people, Peter, they're killing you mob because of money, because of power, because of control. They have sold out stolen land that they don't own themselves, Peter. They are selling our country to another country where foreign countries won't allow you to walk in and buy any of their land. Yet this government is selling it because they know that they don't own it. They know that they are not the rightful owners of the land. So they're selling it so no one can stop China. But little do they know that they're not just selling it just to China and these other foreign countries. They're selling themselves out and they don't realise the consequences that they will suffer themselves one day by the consequences of selling the land. They don't realise that decisions they're making today is going to affect their children also, their futures. If it has to take the power of the people to stop a corrupt government, how about we unify all these people and let's do it. Hey.
I was at Lismore yesterday and I've seen a bit of video from Nimbin where you were doing your Nation Dance. So beautiful. I was feeling like I was watching something that's hundreds of thousands of years old, and it's really about honouring all the beings, care for the land, for the mother, for all the animals, and for all other humans. It's totally opposite of what you've been sharing about our government and what they do.
Yeah.
Now, was it historical that all the different nations from all over this country came together on that day to dance?
One day all at the same time. And that was for the song lines. That's for healing. It's a spiritual connection where we're all connected as one, as a people. We had to call upon our ancestors once again. We had to touch the hearth again. Our traditional ceremonies, somewhere everyone was welcomed in and there were some that they weren't. But we had to do that as a people. You know, Alan Doolan kicked that off and he just had a dream, he had a vision and he just acted upon it. It just went through the nation like wildfire. All the tribes got wind of it. It was something that was meant to be because the spirits were moving. Mother Earth was crying. In my language, we call Mother Mammon. And she was crying. She was crying out to all us, all our people. Because we're watching her die. You know, we're watching her being, you know, all the trees that you log. There is a spiritual connection between every native tree. They talk to one another through the roots. They tell one another. They teach the younger trees how to grow and what to do. Everything as a spirit. They talk to one another. The animals, the trees, the air, the wind, everything. The mountains, the land, the waters, the creeks, the rivers, they all talk. They have spirit. And we have a duty of care. People can't see what they're doing when they're wiping out forests. They cry. They're calling out for their protectors to come and protect them. If I'm not fighting against mining companies to stop them from poisoning our waters, I'm fighting for animals, sacred sites. I can't be everywhere at once, but I try to be where I'm needed.
You do amazing work, Cindy.
There should be more of my people at the forefront fighting for all these things. You know, people say, oh, why's your culture? They got to remember that New South Wales were the first blackfellas shot, dead and massacred. But the thing about it is that we still stood strong. We had warriors that fought. And we still stood strong to hold on to what we have today because it belongs to the Creator and it lives within us. And every generational seed that comes through, He will continue to make sure that seed is planted because we have called as the rightful custodians and the protector of land. We are her children. We feed off her. All the resources that we need were in the land. We didn't have to bring all these things into the country to destroy it. That's what it's about at the end of the day.
I understand exactly what you're saying. I live in Regent rainforest. 40 years ago, it was a cattle farm with no trees, and now tall trees everywhere, hoop pines, bunja pines, lots of rainforest trees. And I've never seen it so dry. I have a meditation where I talk to trees, and I was singing to the trees. I was asking them to make rain. Please bring the rains. And they were saying to me, not yet. Humans need to learn. Not yet. And then the rain came the day before the Nation Dance. And that was what the trees were waiting for. They're waiting for you, mob, to come together again. What do you think?
Yeah, because totally agree. Yeah. They're waiting for us to come together again, all our people, for the songlines to connect again.
Oh.
A lot of people don't believe in the spiritual realm, but it's real. And our people are very spiritual people. They have a very special connection with the Creator, Mother, Earth, Wind, Water, Fire. The four elements are coming through. And believe it or not, it's powerful because it's all spirit. It's our ancestors. It's the Creator. It's Great Mammon, Great Mother. Yeah. But yeah, I just wanted to share today.
Beautiful.
And I just wanted to have a yarn. I don't know. Are you mob out there? Am I talking too much for you or what? I wish they could have a feedback and have a yarn with me. No, don't do that because you always got your skeptics and your critics, and I'm a bit weary of them, Mom.
Do you sing, Cindy?
I'm not the best of the singers. I prefer to dance. I'm a dancer.
Oh, yeah?
I'm not a singer, but I'll try.
Okay.
Okay. Galan no tanggali na jingali jigara jugamba nalango. Galan no tanggali jigara mamon jugamba nalango. Hey, hey, gala no tangale na jangale mamon. Hey, oh, I'm at the back of my yard right now, and just the wind came straight through.
Thank you so much, Cindy.
Yeah, you're welcome. Booga Bear. All you mob out there, our mob love ya. Stand strong wherever you are. Don't let them round you mob up like sheep like they did to my people. You stand strong. But you know what? We all need to stand together as one.
Thank you. No. You are so fierce. We'll see you out in the streets. And I just know that from the 1st of December ongoing, we're going to see you people rise up and support us even more away from the colonisation and the misogyny that we're dealing with in this country. Thank you for the Great Mother, for all of us beings. Is there a song I can play on the radio now that you would love to play?
Oh, I was waiting for it. My People, My People.
Aha!
My People was written by my brother, Chris Phillips, Bolt. He was run over. It was a hit and run, and they killed him on the road to Gundarimba, walking home from town to the mission. He was murdered, and he is a Widjabul Wabble warrior man of this nation, of this country, Nullangal, of Nimbin and Lismore. Send that love out to everybody. Oh, look, brother, can I get to listen? Do I get to hear this?
You do. Woohoo!
I don't have a radio at home here, so how do I listen to it?
fiercefm.podbean.com.
Okay.
How do people get in touch with you, Cindy?
Yeah, look, I don't mind. I'm on Facebook, Cindy Roberts Foster. If you want my number is 047 4151 231. And you know what? Bless yous all.
My people, Aboriginal people. Don't forget what we're fighting for. We are the original people of this land. Custodians. My people, Aboriginal people across the land. Don't forget what we're fighting for. They took us away from family, set us up on mission camps. Then they set us up to prison then, saying this is best for your welfare. My people, Aboriginal people. Don't forget what we're fighting for. We are the original people of the land. Custodians. My people, Aboriginal people across the land. Don't forget what we're fighting for. Elders have come so far, fighting to hold the government law. But they've been denying us for so long, with the language and dances and the cultural songs. My people, Aboriginal people. Don't forget what we're fighting for. We are the original people of the land.
I'm here with Skayt and his mum Shay. They've just danced at the Bundjalung Nation Dance in Lismore. How was that for you, Skayt?
It was really fun for me because I have been learning Aboriginal dance with Aboriginal teacher at our school.
You guys did so well. I noticed the kangaroo. What other animals were out there?
Goannas, snakes, eagles, all kinds.
Do you have an animal that you affinity with more?
Mostly kangaroo. Kangaroo is my favourite to do.
Do you feel like you become a kangaroo?
Yeah, most of the time.
What's it feel like?
It feels like I'm embracing my culture more, and it just makes me feel happy to do it.
What a powerful young man you are. How old are you, Skayt?
I am 12.
12. And so what do you want to do in the world later on?
I want to do more corroborees, help the earth, and hope for other people to have a better life.
What can I do to help you help others have a better life?
Protest to stop all the bad things that are happening in the world, like the fires and all droughts and everything.
We had rain yesterday in our area. Did you make that happen, Skayt?
Yeah.
I bet you did. We all were doing our bit, but I bet you're doing a big bit.
Yeah, it was so much fun. I was standing outside in the nice cold rain.
Your mum, Shay, was there with you with the dance. Is she funny when she dances, or is she powerful when she dances?
She's very powerful.
Shay's just grabbing her heart and almost crying everything that Skayt's saying here. Shay, how's it been for you today and the lead up?
It was extremely powerful. You could feel it coming through your feet, through the earth. All races, I'm choking up. I'm so proud of the younger generation that are keeping our culture alive, and a lot of the elders. It was really powerful. I caught up with a lot of my family that I wouldn't expect to see here, and vice versa with them, with me, I suppose. But I've got chills. I'm holding back tears, seriously. I feel tap into frequencies and energies a lot, especially around this time of the year, but today was extremely powerful. Like, it was like I was heating up from the feet through up. No, it's not because I have menopause, it's because I was just feeling it. When we were getting dressed at home, Skayt has his own supply of ochre. I was talking to him and somehow I was coming out as my grandmother, so we know that they're all watching us. The world just needs to change the plane of thought. The government needs to get on board with what's happening, and I think yesterday's rain was like an indication of saying, just keep doing what you're doing, get it better. It'd be interesting to see how much of an impact and intention manifesting can happen.
Well, Bundjalung's a massive nation. What was it like to have the coastal ruck roll with the Widgerball here from Lismore?
Wow, they were extremely that was what was coming through. Like, so you knew your own people here, but at the same time, there's faces that you didn't know, but you knew them, and just our energy together, it came as a collective as one. So, and it's so good to see yourself and all our friends here supporting us and being one with, being one. We've got to start listening to the Indigenous people all around the world. We know how it's been going for centuries. It's got to the point where she's saying, listen, because the caretakers have been doing it for so long and this new way is not working. We've got to go back to the old ways.
Thank you so much, Shay. You are so fierce. Skayt, you are mega fierce.
Thank you for letting us talk for today, and I hope everyone has a lovely day.
Thank you, Peter.
I'm keeping fierce. I'm letting everyone know that I'm fierce and I'm not going nowhere either. So Fierce FM, Lismore's lilies on your back too, baby.
Right now on the phone we have Jenny Webber from the Bob Brown Foundation. Jenny's been travelling all over the place with the convoy that went to stop Adani, and now with the film and the book. Hi Jenny, how you doing?
Hi Peter, lovely to speak to you.
You too. You're a very busy person. I saw you multitasking like mental on the convoy.
Oh, look, we haven't actually pulled off anything like the convoy before in our whole lives. It was incredible. It was actually the peak of activism for me. However, we do still continue to campaign for the Tarkine in Tasmania's northwest, where we currently have a blockade, and we've just finished a weekend out in the Tarkine with 150 scientists and citizens who have been counting species from the coast to the forests to the rivers.
That's incredible. And what did the scientists discover? Anything new?
Last night we saw an endangered masked owl in a forest that's threatened from logging, 10 threatened orchids. There's this incredible species called a slime mould. Anyone who's listening, when you finish listening, go and Google slime moulds Tarkine. They're incredible. We've counted 230 species over the last 3 days, and there will be plenty more rolling in as the scientists take all their things home and identify them for us.
The last time I spoke to Bob Brown, he was in the Tarkine and the police were all there causing havoc.
Yes, so we have moved back into an area in the Tarkine that's threatened by logging, and the police arrived and arrested one of the tree sitters and then came back and arrested another tree sitter. But the police haven't come for the last 2 weeks. We've still been protecting these forests and the logging hasn't happened.
Well, thank you so much to all of you. And now for listeners who don't remember or know much about the convoy, could you tell us what happened?
The Bob Brown Foundation rallied 25,000 people across the country from Hobart to Melbourne, Sydney, Coffs Harbour, Mullumbimby, and you guys turned out in such great strength in Mullumbimby, Brisbane, and then all the way up to Airlie Beach and across to Clermont, back to Canberra. It was extraordinarily adventurous of us to come up with a plan to convoy with people all across the eastern part of Australia, but it was so crucial in the lead up to the federal election that Adani needed to be front and centre as a climate, water, Aboriginal rights, environment issue, and that's what we wanted to do, and that's what we successfully brought attention to, the fact that the Adani company wants to set up a new mine in central Queensland, and people don't want that mine.
On Facebook, I read that the Greens are responsible for all the fires across the country. And I also hear that Bob Brown's responsible for making the mines happen because everyone got their back up because of the convoy. Do you have any thoughts about that?
Oh, look, if Bob was that powerful to cause the loss of an election for someone, imagine all the things that he could change. And the people who chose not to vote for the Labor Party was probably because Bill Shorten didn't get off the fence on the Adani. We just think and know that it's a lot of nonsense. The convoy did absolutely not cost ALP the election, and more importantly, it raised an environment and climate issue in the lead up to the federal election, and it was the biggest rallying of people out on the streets on an environment issue in the lead up to that federal election, and it was a terrible tragedy that Australia voted Scott Morrison in, and that's why we have to keep campaigning to stop the Adani mine.
How are you feeling personally or as a professional about that right now?
I've just been so inspired by the people who are up on the front line with Frontline Action on Coal, who are just staying defiant, and they're saying that, you know, no matter what, we will keep taking action to stop Adani. Going around the country with this film, I've actually been so moved by the fact that people think that the convoy was something very powerful. The convoyers themselves have felt like it was something that they had never done anything like it before in their lives, and they're very thankful that they were able to take such action. And we know of convoyers who are keeping on with their campaign. There's a woman in Victoria that her own new environment group after joining the convoy. The people in Albury-Wodonga are organising fantastic actions outside Susan Lay's office. We went to visit people in Dubbo and Bathurst and Toowoomba, and all of those people were very thankful for Bob Brown's support and encouraging of the fact that the convoy brought to the fore that there's a crisis in Australia, and that is the Adani mine that we need to stop.
And so there's a film. Is it entertaining?
Yeah, it's a very entertaining film. We had Matthew Newton from Rumman Productions on the tour with us. He made a 37-minute documentary. Matthew wanted to tell the story because if you don't tell your own story, the other side of history will. And it's proving that. I mean, if we didn't have our own book and our own film, the interpretation of the Stop Adani convoy would be through the Murdoch media, which was a total outrage. And the interpretation of it through other people's eyes would be that it was a problem for the ALP and cost them the election. So it's so great to be able to be proving that it was strong, it was full of people power, just a really inspiring action. And it's a great book as well. The book is made up of different speeches from across the rallies, and the rallies had such incredible speakers. And there's a great representation in both the film and the book of the Wonga-Jangalingu Family Council, who were central to the success and impact of the convoy.
I know when I was on the convoy, it was hard to leave the bubble of the Northern Rivers.
Oh, yeah, you guys absolutely had a huge show up, and that's why we thought it was important to come back and have an event at MURWILLUMBAH and at Brunswick Heads. You did have a very big showing. Brisbane probably matched you, which was really important to prove that Queenslanders also don't want the Adani mine. And while we were facing such an onslaught of terrible press from the Murdoch media, it was great to be able to have the people of Queensland also stand up and say it doesn't matter what the Courier Mail says, the convoy is welcome here.
The Murdoch media, would you call it corrupt?
The thing is that you've actually got to question, who are they serving? What purpose do they have when they're attacking people who are defending the environment? So absolutely, you have to think that they're only representing the coal industry, printing news, which you can't even call news.
I remember when I left the bubble and was in these other towns, I met some nice people, but I also encountered bullying. I feel like the Start Adani crew had a lot of rank, and that they could get away with behaviours with the police there that if we had acted non-peacefully, we would have been shut down by the police.
Yeah, my co-organiser, Jasmine, and I met with the people of Clermont, the mayor, the people who run the pubs on arrival into Clermont. And we said, you know, our people are always peaceful. We have an alcohol-free event. We are not going to be fueling anyone with copious amounts of alcohol. We are always acting in non-violent communication, and all our actions are non-violent. And we asked them to do the same with their people. Astoundingly, they tried to tell us that they did the same. I'm not sure that they did, but essentially the next day they ran a pub crawl, had people drinking all day into the night. And, alcohol-fueled violence is the sort of thing that is always intimidating and a major problem in our society. So, look, the thing is that the Start Adani people are organising.
And there were politicians involved in that pub crawl, weren't there?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was one of the hottest spots we've ever seen. For Matt Canavan to be on stage with Pauline Hanson and Clive Palmer to be speaking with a CFMEU flag behind him and talking about the CFMEU over and over again after the controversial practices that he has with his company. You know, what an incredible sight. We couldn't believe it. Far-right extreme politicians promising people a future in coal, and there is no future in coal. And absolutely, Adani is definitely not the future for people of central Queensland, particularly when Adani is a multi-billionaire and he's about to take all of his profits off and out of Australia into the Cayman Islands. So who's benefiting here? There's only one person, and that's Adani and the people who are in power helping him continue to destroy the planet.
Are they helping him because they get money as well?
No, I think the thing is that these people really just want to keep their positions of power as politicians. They're helping them because they believe that corporations and destroying the planet is the way to keep their power.
And so why is there no future for coal?
It's very clear that it contributes to extremely problematic greenhouse gas emissions. The climate is breaking down. We know that we're going through a severe climate emergency, and we know that coal is responsible for that, just alongside logging and so many other disastrous practices that the human race is carrying out. Furthermore, the coal industry is shedding jobs because there needs to be a just transition out of these coal mines that are already operational. But essentially, the climate cannot survive with any new coal mines. It really just needs people to understand that if they want the planet to survive and all these incredible parts of the planet that have been here for a lot longer than we have, they need to stand up. And it's such a beautiful movement to join. It's a peaceful one and it's a defiant one. And no matter what sort of confrontations we go through, we really have a great time defending the planet and standing up for it.
Screening in MURWILLUMBAH on Wednesday, December 4th, as well as in Brunswick Picture House on December the 5th. Are you going to be coming to those towns?
I'm so looking forward to joining your community again in MURWILLUMBAH and Brunswick Heads next week and standing there with you guys to watch the Convoy film. And more importantly, what we're doing these events for is to remind people that there's ways that they can get involved in the campaign right now. There's been developments since the federal election that people need to be aware of, and there's definitely many local groups and bigger groups like Frontline Action on Coal that need people to get involved. And so we're hosting these events to give people more inspiration and pathways to get involved in the campaign.
Thank you so much, Jenny.
It's lovely to speak to you, Peter.
You too, Jenny. You're super fierce and I adore you. And I'll see you in the rainbow very soon.
See you there. That's so exciting.
Thank you for listening to Fierce. This program celebrates the diversity of LGBTIQ identities and perspectives. Fierce is produced in Bundjalung country at 2NCR Lismore and can also be heard on podcast at fiercefm.podbean.com and in New Zealand on Fresh FM, as well as all over Australia through the Community Radio Network.